Hi, everybody. Welcome to OnStage Black Theater Podcast. And we're really excited. It's the big day. The Tony nominations are here. We're here to talk about them. And I'm theater critic Rachel Wagner. Jacqueline Collier's here.
Hello, hello. It's our Super Bowl.
Woohoo! And Marc Bonanni's here.
What's a Super Bowl?
Yeah, right.
No, very excited. One of my high holy days of the year.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I feel like this season has been pretty competitive. There's been a lot of contenders for some of these spots. Would you say, Marc?
Yeah. We've had 14 new musicals this season and 7 musical revivals. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know facts about plays, so don't come for me for that. But musical wise, yes, it's been very competitive.
Yeah. I have only seen of like contenders. I've only seen Death Becomes Her and I guess Wonderful World, because I in my December trip and I saw Elf, but probably not too much of a contender. But
There was predictions. One of the major papers predicted it would get revival and Gray Henson would get nominated, which obviously didn't happen.
yeah. It's interesting to see. I mean, I'm surprised because they only had 4 nominees for Best Revival.
Yeah, that has to do with the number eligible shows. So if there was
Oh,
a
okay.
tie, like some of the you'll see some of the best actor, like best actor in a musical has
There's
6
6.
nominations, but best actress is 5, or maybe it's the other way around. But it's when there's a
Yeah,
tie.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, so that means there was a tie in the votes. That's why there's 6 instead of 5.
I just thought there would be 5 instead of just 4 for
Yeah, I think
Revival,
because
but
there was 7 eligible
okay.
revivals, then it's
Not
4
enough.
unless there's a tie.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's
That
so
makes
funny. I'm
sense.
glad you have that intel, Mark, because when it was best revival of a play and there were only four, I was like, they're like, we're not even gonna pretend with Glengarry Glen Ross. Like they're like, we're only gonna nominate Bob because what is happening?
Well, and I
I
mean
mean,
Noah Othello.
no, yeah, that was one of the big predictions that went from people that went unrealized was Jake Gyllenhaal being nominated. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
nothing for Othello,
Yeah,
which
nothing.
good.
Yeah.
Shakespeare's a hack.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's dive in. Let's talk about this. So best musical, we have Buena Vista Social Club, Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, maybe Happy Ending, and Operation Mincemeat. And the big surprise for me as someone who's only seen Death Becomes Her, I was really surprised about Operation Mincemeat. Because I just feel like I haven't heard hardly any buzz about that show for it to get best musical nom.
Yeah, coming over from the West End, I've heard people talk about it's so funny. It reminds me, like, people are like, oh, it's like a mashup. Like, my friend who was in Titanic was like, oh, it's the same sort of like kind of feeling, but like a little bit, um, like obviously more British.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
so Operation Mincemeat it didn't come from the West End. It won the Olivier Award for Best Musical, beating A Strange Loop
uh-huh.
and the first time Next to Normal appeared in the West End.
Oh,
So it beat both of those shows for Best Musical. It's definitely, yeah, it sort of has that feel. It's basically this theater company made their own show. So the stars of it wrote the show as well. It's sort of like The Mischief and the play that goes wrong people.
yeah.
It's sort of like that where
Okay.
like they all, not all of them, but a majority of the people in it wrote it um and came up with it. It is insanely clever. Sometimes I say a little too clever for its own good.
Mm.
Um it is pretty British, but I'm not too surprised that it got in there.
Yeah, I just feel like it hasn't gotten a lot of like buzz. And you think of like it beat out something like Boop, it beat out something like Real Women Have Curves, some other shows that I thought Redwood, that some some pretty big with
Yeah,
some pretty
Redwood
big
got shut out
names.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more surprised about sets than anything else for that.
Oh
For
yeah,
me,
didn't
it's Buena Vista Social Club. It was sort of
the
the
surprise.
not surprise, but just yeah, it definitely could have got that nomination could have gone to Real Women. Was Just in Time nominated for Best Musical?
Nope.
See, that's another big surprise.
Yeah, because it's that the response to that has been better than I was expecting. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know, when I heard that the, Bobby Darin musical, I had no interest at all in that, but it's gotten pretty good reviews.
Yeah. Well, and Jonathan Groff is like the most charming man in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts.
But people are saying it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
I'm excited. Yeah, shows I haven't seen yet. I try my best to not look at anything, read
Oh,
reviews or
okay.
anything. So I know that it's gotten good buzz, but
Yeah.
yeah, for a bio jukebox musical type situation, it seems like it's a hit. So I'm excited to hopefully see that soon.
Yeah. I feel like the Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, and maybe Happy Ending, those were
Yeah.
locks for sure. And then the other two were the maybe more the surprises.
And I'm
Or
Yeah.
just
I'm
yeah,
excited.
variables. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them, and I'm seeing Death Becomes Her tomorrow. So I'm excited to see it
Ah.
with the infused energy of a Tony nom. Not that anything will change because they're professionals. But you gotta have that little pep
Yeah.
in your step.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the
think
audience will
so.
feed them that
That's right.
energy and
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. I was laughing throughout. And I liked the movie, but I think they did a good job translating it to as well as you could, because how do you bring some of those special effects and stuff like that into
Right.
this?
yeah, I'm thrilled for Chris Catelli, who got nominations for choreography and for directing. It's his first directorial credit on Broadway, and
Yeah.
he's the choreographer behind Schmigadoon. That's been
Oh,
on my channel a few times, so I'm
Uh,
very, very thrilled for
oh,
Chris
that's cool.
Catelli.
that's
That's
awesome.
cool. So best play, we have English, The Hills of California. John Proctor is the villain, Oh Mary, and Purpose. I think it's interesting that they didn't nominate Stranger Things, but they did nominate it for the special award. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, they're just acknowledging, I think, that the physical production
Yeah.
is better than the script.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, you
Mm,
would think that
yeah.
like something that's worthy of singling out would be one of the five, but clearly not. I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
it,
yeah.
it was a pretty competitive year, I think, for plays.
Oh, this is an embarrassment of riches. Like English the thing I was most excited to see, and I absolutely loved it. But it's like, holy moly, the plays have really been coming to play lately, and I think that's so exciting.
Yeah. I mean, also, so No Good Night and Good Luck,
I
which was
know.
the
Yeah, it's
big,
just a
yeah.
and the Tonys like to spread things around, so that's why, they'll give lots of technical awards to shows, or they'll recognize like George Clooney.
Uh-huh.
That's they like to spread it around.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so you've seen English, right? Jax?
Yeah, and in 2 weeks, I'm seeing John Proctor's The Villain. Oh, Mary, of course, like everyone has been raving
Yeah.
about. Um, Wait, what are the other plays?
And Purpose.
Oh
Purpose
yeah,
And
Purpose. Yeah, John
is I
Michael
think
Hill.
the one to beat. That's
Yeah.
yeah, I've
And I
heard.
love John Michael Hill. He's great. And he got nominated too.
Yeah. Well, so best revival of a play, we have Eureka Day, Romeo and Juliet, Our Town, and Yellowface. So pretty
Yeah, I
good.
mean, Our
Little group.
Town and Romeo and Juliet, that's I think their only nominations were for Best Revival.
Oh, yeah.
It was really interesting to me, the Our Town. I loved the first act. I love how fast it moved. And I was like, yes, unsentimental, like just go, go, go. And then the third act payoff is going to hit so hard. And then I was like, oh, no. They decided to just
Ah,
do the whole thing real fast. And like I was so excited because I was like, finally in our town. I've done the show before, I've seen it a bunch, but I was like, finally in our town that knows how to do the first act. And then they did, but they didn't. The payoff was not there at the end. And
interesting.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big, big bummer for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because that is a long play.
They did it in one act. They did it without an intermission.
That's intense. Yeah.
It's a 3-act play, and they did it without an intermission.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's crazy. All right. Is best revival of a musical. And this is interesting because they had so Floyd Collins was considered a classic for the and uh the what's the other one that
Last 5 years.
yes, the last 5 years.
Hmm.
So yeah, the last 5 years and Floyd Collins were eligible as classics for revival, even though they've never been on Broadway before. They were off Broadway. But the ones that actually got nominated, Floyd Collins, Gypsy, Pirates, the Penzance musical, and Sunset Boulevard. I feel like this is pretty a very competitive category here.
Yeah, I wish Once Upon a Mattress got recognized a little bit.
Yeah.
Michael Urie should have, I would have liked to have seen been nominated. I know
Yeah.
Sutton too, but that category is much more competitive.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, that would have been nice. Anna Gasteyer.
And it's just such
Yeah.
a fun show. Like let's also encourage shows that are just like kind of fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't, yeah, I
Mhm.
agree.
But I feel like that this is going to be. I mean, when I first started, they were doing pirates. I was kind of like, eh. But it is interesting to see what they're doing with it because they're doing this whole New Orleans take on it, and there's like this jazz take on it. So that sparked my curiosity.
Yeah, and that was surprising too that that was its only nom, I believe, was for Best Revival.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Many thought David Hyde Pierce might get
Yeah.
in there, but
He's a
again,
Tony
that's one I haven't
favorite.
seen yet, so I don't know too much. Haven't done
I'll
my research on it
well, yeah, so that's what they
besides it being
did is
good.
they took Pirates of Penzance and they set it in New Orleans and they gave it like a jazz overlay.
Yeah, it's supposed
So
to be great. And
because
Rupert Holmes did the book. I love Rupert Holmes, so
because I think Pirates of Penzance is super boring.
You're like, so it needs to be jazzed up, baby.
So I'm
literally
curious
jazzed up.
Yep.
what they do with that. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what if you've seen Gypsy,
Hmm.
what have you seen any of the other of
No,
these?
I haven't seen any other
Okay.
ones.
Okay.
I mean, I loved Gypsy and like I think Gypsy is also just like it's a perfect book. Like and all the songs are
Uh-huh.
coming organically out of the book. Like it's just a great show. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to see what actually shakes out in this category.
Have you seen any of these, Mark?
I've seen Gypsy. I saw Floyd Collins.
Oh, what'd you
Have
think?
I see, I've been a fan of the score of Floyd Collins for a long, long time.
Uh-huh.
This is my first time seeing it stage, and I think it was a great production of a show that I think maybe works better just as a cast recording. I think the
Yeah.
book
Oh,
has some issues for me. I think Tina Landau might be a much better director, in my opinion, than book writer. But I thought Jeremy Jordan is very deserving. I was beyond thrilled that Taylor Trench got recognized for supporting. That was one of the ones I was really,
hmm
really hoping for.
yeah,
So that was thrilling. But
yeah,
yeah, should be interesting.
yeah. Is that the only one of these you've seen? Floyd
And
Collins?
then Gypsy.
Ah,
I mean, what was the other one? I haven't seen Pirates.
and Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, and I saw Sunset Boulevard. Yeah.
Okay, what'd you think?
The concept just didn't work for me. I can
Uh-huh.
appreciate it. I like big swings. It didn't work for me. I thought it was pretentious in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't understand a lot of it. What I did understand, it was like, okay, I get what you're doing. So it didn't work for me. I can understand why people might love it.
Uh-huh.
I thought all the performers did fine, did great. I mean, she can sing
Yeah.
very well. I don't know why this woman is this aging star that is, I mean, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was
She's a
weird
stunning woman that's
choice.
like, oh, I'm past my prime. It's like, what? What? Are
That's
we all looking at the same stage?
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Can we stop doing this thing like Annalie Ashford? No, you're not Mrs. Lovett yet. Don't. Nicole
Yeah.
Scherzinger, no, you're not Norma Desmond yet. Like, I get the whole thing that it's kind of, if we're going to take it out and be like, well, even a gorgeous young woman in this industry can feel like that. Yeah, sure. But like, why are we doing that? And
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I usually love Jamie Lloyd's stuff. I loved A Doll's House. I saw Seagull in the West End, and it was like exquisite. And usually the stuff that he does is very like clean and simple in its aesthetic. From everything I've heard about this, it's interesting. To me it sounds a little gimmicky, but it's been so polarizing. The people that I've talked to, it's a love it or hate it kind of thing. And I love how many people are so passionate about really disliking it as much as the people that I've talked to are like, I loved it. So there's
Yeah.
something interesting about that to me. But yeah, I agree with you, Mark. I'm like, Nicole, you are a hot young babe. Let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna not I'm gonna believe that this young guy is not interested. And yeah, I mean, it's the clean aesthetic. I mean, he takes away the sets, he takes away the costumes, he takes away everything. It's just a giant video screen, and he references
Yeah. What
himself
do
a
you
lot in the
think of
production. It's like, what? Jamie
what
Lloyd, get out of here.
what did you think of that video thing going out into the street?
Oh, okay. I mean, it was something different. I don't really understand it. Maybe I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, no, you're
Um,
not. If you don't understand, that's the thing. You know that. Like we sometimes when people are like, "Oh, I remember being young and in theater school, like if I don't get it, it must just be beyond me." And it's like, no, sometimes it's I think this is funny though. I haven't seen it, but I know about the going out thing and I think that sounds cool. Sure.
yeah.
There's the thing of why though. And in A Doll's House, what I thought was awesome was that the whole back of it's like, the door slammed her around the world, but it opened up into the street and Jessica Chastain walked out onto the street. Now, is that cool? Sure. Is it a little gimmicky? Maybe, but it's the thing, it makes sense with the play. It was like the way the door slam landed for audiences in Ibsen's time, that opening up into Times Square did the same sort of like goosebumps feeling for us. So it made sense with the play. If it doesn't make sense with the
Yeah.
play, it's like, okay, fine, you can still do it and people might love it, but it's kind of like you're saying, Mark, like, okay, yeah, why?
Yeah, he goes out, and well, he first before he goes out, he goes like around to the different dressing rooms, and there's like a bunch of funny bits. There's like a
Oh
an
Oh, I didn't
Andrew
know
Lloyd
that.
Webber cardboard cutout. They're like, ha ha ha, and then they're drinking from Jamie Lloyd Theater Company mugs, and like, ha ha ha, and then he just goes out, does a circle, and comes back in.
Wait, really? I didn't know that
terrible.
it was
That's
like it,
terrible.
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Why?
no, it's yeah, it's really bizarre.
That
It
sounds
wasn't for
bizarre.
me.
Yeah, yeah. All
I'm
right.
scared for
So,
Evita.
yeah.
We'll see.
So we have best performance by a leading actor in a musical: Darren Criss, Maybe Happy Ending; Andrew Gerard, Dead Outlaw; Tom Francis, Sunset Boulevard; Jonathan Groff, Just in Time; James Monroe, Iglehart, A Wonderful World; and Jeremy Jordan, Floyd Collins. So it's a very stacked list
Yeah,
there.
that's a stacked list.
Yeah,
Yeah, James Monroe Iglehart. That was a shocker. That was a
yeah,
big. No one predicted that.
yeah.
Um,
And when I saw Wonderful World, I saw the understudy. So
Oh,
so
you
did
did?
I. I saw The Standby
unfortunately,
as well,
yeah.
and
So I
I
mean,
I
and
didn't
he
love
was
the show enough to spend my time and money to go back and see it.
right. Yeah. I mean, it was a very long show. It was too long, but it was good. I mean, I actually thought that just from images that the understudy looked more like Louis Armstrong
Mm.
as far as, but yeah, it wasn't a great show. Okay, so best performance by a leading actress in a musical: Megan Hilty, Death Becomes Her; Audra McDonald, Gypsy; Jasmine Amy Rogers, Boop the Musical; Nicole Scherzinger, Sunset Boulevard; and Jennifer Steinmar, Death Becomes Her. Are you at all surprised that they got both of Death Becomes Her in for leading? Uh, yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
just I just wondered if they might try to pull an Oscar and
And get, yeah,
do a
one news
category
category.
fraud and claim that Jennifer Steinmart is supporting.
Oh, there would be an uprising. They're very equal in that.
Well, I they are, but you know how it is. At least with the Oscars, like they almost never want to have two from the same movie competing,
Yeah,
and so just to improve their chances. But I
yeah.
guess
Well,
that's
I don't think they're in the running. I mean, looking at that category,
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I mean,
Who do,
first
Yeah.
of all,
who do
Audra
you guys?
McDonald is now the most Tony nominated performer of all time with her
Yeah.
11th nomination.
And she's
Um,
won 6 times, right?
yep. Yeah, she
Yeah.
has the most Tony wins and now the most Tony nominations ever.
That's amazing.
Um,
Yeah.
Justice for Helen J. Shen from Maybe Happy Ending.
Oh, I know why.
Absolutely should have been in there.
Also, it's like, come on, you guys. Like, I don't know. I just, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just really swing and a miss here. Like,
And
what?
it's a tough cat. I mean,
Yeah.
because I've heard that Jasmine Amy Rogers is like unbelievable in Boop. But
She's a star.
yeah, that the show isn't that great, but she's really good.
Hot take with Helen J. Shen not in there. I'm kind of rooting for Jasmine.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know that's unlikely with Audra and
Right.
Nicole Scherzinger, but like of all the one, like she carries that show on her
Yeah.
back, and she's
Yeah.
extraordinary in it.
It's a
Yeah.
harder show to carry on your back than
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
one.
yeah. So I would throw my support behind Jasmine.
Who do you
I'm
guys
Oh,
being
think is gonna?
honest.
Who do you guys think it's gonna be though?
I think Audra's gonna win.
It's definitely between Nicole
Yeah.
and Audra.
Yeah. Well, so then we have best performance by a leading actor in a play: George Clooney, Good Night and Good Luck, Cola Scola, Oh Mary, John Michael Hill, Purpose, Daniel Day Kim, Yellowface, Harry Lennox, Purpose, and Louis McCartney, Stranger Things, The First Shadow. So yeah, they're giving all of the men are all getting 6 snobs. I um I don't know. This one I mean I haven't seen any of them, so it's hard to say, but could this be where they recognize O'Mary?
Bingo. That's exactly
Yeah.
what's going to happen. They're going to give Cole Best Actor so they can give Best Play to someone else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Best performance by leading actress in a play: Laura Donnelly, The Hills of California, Mia Farrow, The Roommate, Latanya Richardson Jackson, Purpose, Sadie Sink, John Proctor's The Villain, and Sarah Snook, The Picture of Dorian Gray. I feel like Sarah Snook is the one I've heard the most buzz about of this.
Yeah, it's interesting that our like if we're talking like A-listers and like famous celebrities on Broadway, the women did better with the noms than the guys did. Like Kieran Culkin's not getting the
Yeah,
nomination,
that's
Denzel
true.
Washington, Jake Gyllenhaal, but Sadie Sink
Yeah,
and
you're
Sarah
right.
Snook both got nominations, which is just funny to me. It's like it's in line with what
That's a
I've
good
heard.
point.
Yeah.
That's a good
But there's
point
also
because
just more famous men on Broadway right now.
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I've heard
That's
that
true.
they're like really not keeping up.
Well, I mean that's too bad because Kieran Culkin could have he could have been the EGOT could have been his chance.
Yeah, but apparently the man can't monologue,
Oh,
is what I've heard. That he's better, like,
yeah,
rat-a-tat-tat. But also, heard he's such a great guy. But
yeah.
yeah, apparently can't monologue. Also, Glengarry Glen Ross, whatever. I'm over
Yeah.
it.
Been over. It's seen it twice already without seeing this production.
But yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
yes.
Yeah. I saw it in '05, and then there was one in 2012 or something like
Yeah.
that. Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. We're good.
I've seen the movie. I haven't seen it live yet. Okay, so then we have best performance by a feature actor in a musical: Brooks Ashmakas in Smash, Jeb Brown in Dead Outlaw, Danny Burstein Gypsy, Jack Malone Operation Mincemeat New Musical, and Taylor Trench Floyd Collins. So interesting group there. Is that the like Smash? They didn't get much.
Yeah, they got that, and they got maybe choreography or costume. Something. They got something else. They got two
Hmm.
total.
Okay, yeah, not much.
Um,
For Smash.
yeah. Like I said, I'm thrilled for Taylor Trench. He was magnificent in Floyd Collins. Jack Malone in Operation Mincemeat gave one of the greatest performances I've ever been
Whoa.
able to witness. He
Really?
has a solo in the show that was I would have paid to see that song. It
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
incredible. So
Yeah.
I'm wholeheartedly thrilled and hopeful that he will win.
Well, and a lot of love for Dead Outlaw. I mean, that's not a surprise. People expected that, but it'll be interesting to see what it actually does for awards.
Yeah, that's one I'm most excited to see and the
Yeah.
most I've not heard anything about.
Yeah.
So that's it sounds like I mean it's weird. I know he's a dead body. That's all I know really,
Yeah.
and I'm very excited to see it. But yeah, that's a really interesting category. And Danny Burstein, I mean, he was born to play Herbie and Gypsy.
Oh,
So,
and he's
Yeah.
so
I mean,
but gentle and complex
ugh.
and but also strong.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean
like,
it's really yeah, that's like Danny Burstein himself. He's,
yeah. Yeah, at the end I was like, am I like really attracted to Danny Bernstein? I was like, I guess I
I thought
am.
the same thing. I'm like, am I really attracted?
Right?
Nice. Okay. Best performance by a featured actress in a musical. We have Natalie Venetia Falcone, Buena Vista Social Club, Juliet Knittel, Dead Out Loud, Gracie Lawrence, Just in Time, Justina Mikado, Real Women Have Curves, musical, and Joy Woods, Gypsy. A pretty good list there.
Yeah, I think Joy Woods is the only one I've seen. Who was wonderful in Gypsy. I wish Jordan Tyson also there was room who played June in Gypsy to be nominated. I
Mm,
think it's the best June I've ever seen in a production of Gypsy.
mm, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
I think she was great. If Mama was married, the way that was directed, I think it's such a beautiful opportunity for June to get to not be June, for them to really connect as sisters. And I thought it was a big swing and a miss. That was the
Hmm.
Oh,
biggest swing and a miss in that show that it kind of broke my heart. Because if Mama was married is when we're supposed to like see, to me, see the sisters connect. And she was still playing baby June. And it was
Interesting.
directed as such, I'm sure, because I love her. I saw her in The Notebook. I thought she was great in The Notebook. I thought she was amazing in this. And I know she's got it in the tank. So someone told her not to do
uh,
it, is my opinion.
interesting. So, okay, best performance by a featured actor in a play: Glenn Davis, Purpose, Gabriel Ebert, John Proctor is the villain, Francis Jew, Yellowface, Bob Odenkirk, Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, and Conrad Ricamora, O'Mary.
Is this the
So,
only Glengarry Glen Ross nomination?
let's see. I'm seeing if I see in
It
any of
might be.
the.
That's so interesting because they're
Yeah,
just
I'm
like Bob
not seeing
Odenkirk
it.
deserves it, no matter even if
Uh,
the whole thing is.
I'm not seeing it like lighting or any of those things. So yeah, way to go,
Hmm.
Bob. The
Yeah,
Emmys,
interesting.
they for Better Call Saul didn't win like a single. I don't think it won a single Emmy the entire run. So way to go. Okay. So best performance by a featured actress in a play: Talia Ash, English; Jessica Hecht, Eureka Day; Marjan Nishat, English; Fina Straza, John Proctor's the villain; and Carrie Young, Purpose.
I've only seen English, and like I could talk about it for. I'm like obsessed with the playwright, but
Uh,
Marjan is like the playwright's like best friend muse. She was also in Wish You Were Here, and I think Marjan is exquisite, and I just want
mhm.
all the good things in the world for
Do you
her.
think that's gonna hurt it having two?
I actually thought it was interesting that she was because Marjan is definitely the heart and soul of English. So it's interesting
Uh-huh.
that she was
Featured.
nominated as featured, but it makes sense because of how stacked the plays are. So I could see it is an ensemble for sure.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm really pulling for Marjan. I mean, that I'm saying that having seen nothing else.
Yeah.
Finistraza in John Proctor's The Villain, I was thrilled to see nominated. There was other names thrown out as possibilities for supporting, and I would have gone with Finistraza, and I thought she really was a standout to me. So I'm very thrilled that
Yeah.
you got.
What do you think of John Proctor as the villain?
I thought it was very good. I thought it was very hard to watch, just content wise, a lot of it.
Mhm.
Um, I wish my oldest daughter was like 5 or 6 years older to see it. I was
Mhm.
really thrilled to see so many like high school and college age young women in the audience because I think it's
Mm.
a very important play with important things to say. It also felt like the an early play by a playwright that will go on to do even more brilliant things.
Mm.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
That's
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. All right. I'm skipping over some of the technicals. But so best direction of a musical, we have Sahim Ali, Michael Arden, David Cromer, Christopher Gatelli, and Jamie Lloyd. So Jamie Lloyd getting in there. Way to go. Um, and best direction of a play, Nude Adams, Sam Mendes, Sam Pinkleton, Dana Tamor, and Kip Williams there. And best book of a musical. So this is interesting. We have Buena Vista Social Club, Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, Maybe Happy Ending, and Operation Mincemeat, a new musical.
Yeah, so same as the best
Same as
musical
the
noms, which
yeah, you know.
makes sense.
Yep. And then best original score, and we have Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, Maybe Happy Ending, Operation Mincemeat, a new musical, and Real Women Have Curves, the musical for score.
Yeah, which again is almost the same, but Buena Vista Social Club would be technically like a jukebox musical. It's a pre-existing
Oh,
music,
right.
so it's
Yeah.
not eligible. So that's where Real
Oh,
Women
okay.
came in.
That makes
That makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah. Okay. Best
For the record,
orchestrated.
Maybe Happy Ending should sweep everything. It is one of the best new shows to ever come to Broadway in years. I've got my shirt on.
Wow.
Oh, you
It's the best. Waboon for life. I've seen it 4 times now.
Oh my gosh.
It is the best.
Oh, wow. 4 times.
4 times, and that's just the beginning.
Oh,
It's-
I love that. That's just the
Why'd you
beginning.
like it so much? Tell us.
It is one of the most special, original, sweet, unexpected shows. If Pixar in its heyday made a musical, this would be it.
Oh,
It's just so, and there's literally, I cannot think of my mom and sister, they live in California, they come every once in a while, and I try to have them see a show, like a big musical. And I was worried because it's a small musical. And I was like, I'm not sure if you guys I know you'd like it, but I'm not sure if you'd love it. And they came out, they loved it. They said, there's not a single person that wouldn't love this show. It's a
Yeah.
universal musical. It's
Yeah.
a show about robots that is the most human thing I've ever seen. It is gorgeous and funny and sweet and unexpected, and I could watch it for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Wow.
Alexa,
Cool.
stop.
I want to see it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So best orchestrations, Just in Time, Maybe a Happy Ending, Floyd Collins, Buena Vista Social Club, and Sunset Boulevard. And we got our Andrew Lloyd Webber sneaking in there with a Tony nomination this year. Way to
Hey,
go. Yeah.
orchestration. I bet he didn't do a dang thing on those orchestrations. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, probably not. Probably not, but he's in there. So best choreography, Smash, Gypsy, Death Becomes Her, Boop, and Buena Vista Social Club. So that's fun.
Yeah, Boop had great choreography.
Yeah. So they are giving special awards to the band of Buena Vista Social Club.
Which is awesome because I bet they're like a character unto themselves. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm guessing since it's about a musical group that they're
Yeah.
integral. Integral. I can't speak.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
sounded right to me.
They're important.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. And then the illusions and technical effects of Stranger Things, the first shadow.
I'm
Which is-
excited. I could, if a show's terrible, I could absolutely be won over by special effects. I
Oh,
saw
yeah?
King Kong 3 times.
Oh. Yeah.
I love good special effects on stage. I'm a sucker
Uh-huh.
for it.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Jax?
I'm a black box girly. Like,
Yeah, same.
like I'm like, oh, you give me honestly, you give me good actors doing good acting. I don't even really care about the plot. I do and I don't. Like, look, in an ideal world, I have it all. I have it
Yeah.
all. Like, I do like spectacle, but at the end of the day, I just want people like getting like in it with each other. But like, it can be fun.
I'm usually not a spectacle person, but I have to say I saw Life Pie, the national tour, and I was pretty blown away. And the story is, I mean, there's hardly any story. And they're somewhat heavy-handed in the messaging of like really telling you what you're supposed to pick up from this. So like that wasn't great, but like that puppet, oh my gosh, that it was incredible. I was pretty blown away by and just the way that they created the just the spectacle of it worked for me,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though yeah. So it can. I can be won over, that's for sure. So yeah, and then a lifetime achievement for Harvey Firestein. So that's great. And
Steel
then
Keenan Bolger, which is nice too.
uh-huh.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I love her. It's so funny because one time I saw her when I moved downtown, I saw her in my neighborhood and I was like, I love your work. And she was so sweet.
Oh,
And then, like, I did it like 5 more times. Like, every time I was like, oh, I think she lives in this neighborhood. But like, I always looked different and I always said it like it was a new thing. And I was like, you've got to stop having these. And she was equally gracious every time. But I was like, you've got to stop
that's
having
funny.
these interactions with her. But I think she's a gem of a human
Yeah.
being and a performer. And I'm really excited.
So then we have the Tony Honors for Excellence in Theater, great performances, Michael Price, New 42, and the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts. So there we go. I mean, that, like I said, there's some technicals, but I think for today, we'll just stop there. But congrats to all the nominees. That's incredible. And I'm hoping that maybe I can get out there sometime in the next before the awards, but we'll see. Ticket prices are just plane flights are so expensive right now.
So
It's
wild.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't gotten out there to see, a lot of these contenders since December. But
Hopefully, you've been seeing a lot of other
that's
things.
true. I just saw my 500th show since the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was
Congratulations.
Yes,
exciting.
Rachel. Yes.
So
Amazing.
yeah.
500, baby. Just keep
Since the
going.
pandemic.
Yeah, so because
Wow.
that was my goal coming out of it, I was going to support local theater as much as possible after the trauma of it all being shut down. And so yeah, 500
You double
shows.
down and then you triple down.
Yeah. You
So
quintupled
She
down.
but let us know what you think of these nominations. What were your favorites? What did you think got snubbed? If you're listening, what would you have picked? What do you like that they picked? All that fun stuff. Love to hear in the comments section. And you can follow all of our content on Stage Blog. Got lots of great articles that are published basically daily. So you definitely want to be checking that out. And you check out our playlist for all of our episodes. And Marc, thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us. We really appreciate it. It's always a joy to have you. And
Thanks for having me.
if people want to follow you and your content, you got your Broadway Jeopardy and your other stuff you do. How do they do that?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Broadway by Ghostlight. Yeah, I do an episode of Broadway Jeopardy every single Thursday. I'm coming up on 1 year of
Nice.
weekly episodes, so that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
All
awesome.
right.
Congrats.
And Jax, how do people follow you?
Jacqueline Collier on Instagram.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, Rotten Tomatoes, and at rachelsreviewstheater.com. You can find out my thoughts on all those 500 shows. So check that out. And yeah, just make sure you're following OnStage Blog everywhere that you can. And thanks again. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.